I talked to him right after he signed. I was excited for him. Uh, happy for him. Most of all, and that's for anybody that signs with us. Always happy for those guys. Talked to him this morning, and we had a little conversation about just life. Just how is he doing? How's his offseason been? What's been going on, and haven't talked too much ball yet because, like you said, we just got here.
Health-wise, where are you? Did you have off-season surgery?
Obviously, you know already.
Well, I'm not asking.
But nah,
My
yeah,
chance to talk.
yeah, I did. I had a procedure done, and this off season, and everything is going good. So I'm happy about that. I'm just taking it day by day.
When do you think you'll be back on the field? OTAs or later than that?
I mean, the goal is to be, like you said, ready for training camp. I think, like you said, just taking it day by day. The doctors everybody got a schedule, and I'm following what they're doing, and everything's going good so far. And training camp is a goal.
What are you able to do right now? Are you able to do any running or anything?
I mean, right now I'm just, focusing on rehab and, just doing whatever I need to do to get back on the field.
Is it that the injury you suffered in the playoff game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just that when I left the game, obviously with an injury, and that is the injury that happened in the last game.
How frustrating was it for you to be dealing with that, especially in a game that was as close as it was?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is I'm never, like, normally I can get dinged up real quick and come right back, but when that right there happened, I had to go to the training, to the locker room a couple times, and my main thing was to finish that game. And for those guys out there, man, I always said, I give up a limb for those guys, and and that's why I get so much respect for those guys.
Hey, Fletch, how excited are you to get Vinny back in the defensive line room?
I mean, Vinny's great. Vinny's a really good friend. Obviously, we got drafted together, and I'm excited for him and to be back here. And the thing about that, he knows the system. He knows how everything goes around here. He knows Coach Peterson. He knows those guys upstairs. And now all he got to do is just dive back in and just get back to where he used to be. When he was here, having fun, winning football games and being competitive.
And piggybacking off that, Brandon's back as well, having that energy in the locker room.
I mean, always having BG in the locker room is great because Brandon is always smiling. He's always bringing good energy, good competitiveness. In the meeting room, in the locker room, on the field, no matter where we are, he always want to challenge you, and that's the thing about getting Brandon back, and I'm excited for him also.
I know you said you
what do you know about Jeffrey Simmons? And this is the guy that some other drafted analysis have compared to you style-wise. Do you know him personally?
I don't know him personally. I've talked to him. I've watched him, and he's a really good player. I think that whoever drafts him, they are making a really good choice. Obviously he had the injury while he was training, but I think for him, whenever he's back healthy, whoever drafts that kid will be really happy because he just dominates people as you see on tape.
Do you see any similarities between the way he plays and the way you play? Or
I can see a few things. Obviously from where I'm at, but when I was in college, we did some things together. But obviously, I think once he get to the league, that he'll learn some things. That same thing I did, learned a lot of things and about the NFL and how to attack things differently. But at the same time, he plays aggressive all the time, and his work ethic, the way he just play hard. I see that a lot.
This is supposed to be a great defensive tackle class. Do you look at these guys at all? Are you interested in that in any way?
I don't work upstairs, man. I think the biggest thing for me is that's to worry about and trust the people that they bring in. No matter who they bring in, what position. I know what their position is. They're bringing them in for a reason, and that's to help this team win.
The coaching staff changed a bit. What do you know about Phil Daniels from your time with him these past few years, and what's he give your group?
I think having Phil, obviously I had a really good relationship with Coach Wilson, with him coaching me in college, and then coming here, helping the city win, a world championship, and I appreciate that, him doing that. But and that's just part of coach's decision, and I got nothing to do with that. I think, but Coach Phil Daniels, just being here with him, I think it's going to be good for the room also because, like I said, not a lot will change. Maybe some drills will change. It's not like the whole defense is going to change, but maybe some drills will change. The way that the coaching will change. But I'm excited about Phil, and I think everybody in the room is excited about him.
As a player, he was a fairly high-level player. What perspective does he have as a D-line coach that's unique because he's been where you guys were in the field?
I mean, you got a guy that's played, like you said, for a long time in the league, and he understands some of the things some of the looks that maybe you get on film are maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. But I think being realistic about it is the realest thing that you can do about anything in any situation that you're going through.
I know you really haven't had a chance to talk to Malik about football, but what can him being next to you do for you?
I mean, it can do a lot. I think we got a chance to we're gonna spend some time together, and it's nothing that can happen overnight. It's just things that got to build during the season. Him being next to me, just learning how I play, me learning how he play, him learning how I play certain things, how he rush and I rush. It's gonna take some time. Some of those things we can pick up on doing in training camp, but most of those things, the important things, I say will happen actually first, second, third, fourth game of the season where we're actually getting those game reps.
The last few years you've had ends moving in a lot of times on passing downs with BG and then Bennett last year. Malik's probably going to be that guy next to you on third downs. Does it change anything when you have a guy who's probably played more defensive tackle and more inside rushing than when you have him rushing aside next to you aside as opposed to the ends?
I mean, I think it's going to change a lot because you have a bigger body there. You have you got a guy that's playing every down, and with him being that bigger body there and more presence, I think with the help that he can really, he's a Pro Bowler. People are going to respect him also. He's won. He know what it takes to win, and now you just can't slide the protection to one person.
Is the off-season like a lot more relaxed for you this year as opposed to last year? I mean, you guys were coming off the Super Bowl. You had a street named after you in your hometown last year and everything. Like, I mean, is it more relaxing feeling this off-season? Does it make you more determined?
No, I think, man, my off season is always relaxing. No matter what the situation is, because it gives you time to get away from football. It gives you time to get away from the building to just enjoy life and be around family and what's important to you besides football. And that's the things that also makes me happy, just being around people and just not when it's during the season, just it's football every day, all day, every day. So I think none of that stuff changes because you still have a life to live outside of that.
You sat in this chair this time last year and talked about Defensive Player of the Year as your goal. What are your goals this year? What are you thinking about for this upcoming season? I
mean, for this team, man, I just want to win. We need to pick up where we left off last year, and it wasn't good. But I think we need to just not shoot ourselves in the foot on just certain things that was unrealistic of us, uncharacteristic of us, I would say, during the regular season. And for this team, man, we just need to focus on us and make it about us and not anybody else.
How important is Chris Long to this locker room?
Chris is my guy. Obviously I can't speak on his behalf of what's going on, but Chris he's my guy, and I talked to him yesterday, so we talk a couple times a week, and it's probably not about football. It's probably just, hey man, how you doing? What's going on? That type of stuff. But he's important to us.
Will you lobby to try to get him to come back, or do you let him make that decision on his own?
No, I mean, like I said, man, Chris is a friend, and I don't talk to him about what's going on in his football situation. I think that sometimes that kind of pushes people away from you when you're trying to do something or help someone make a decision that they don't want to make.
You said that you talked to Simmons. Was that in kind of like a mentorship capacity, and what have you come to learn about his character?
I mean, I talked to him a little just during it, when he was playing during the season. Just really just how he was doing, just keep dominating, just tell him what to expect within the next couple of months. Tell him how stressful it was, and just always just keep calm because I've been through that process and I know what it is, and I know what it's like, and I know the feeling. And at the end of the day, you can't control to what team you're going to. All you can do is just expect to show up and work.
As far as that mentorship, locally here, you've got guys like Trevon and Bruce, young players behind you. How do you take your role as a leader with those young players?
I mean, just taking those guys, and the main thing for me, just taking those guys and showing them what they're doing right, then kind of bring them back to show them what they're doing wrong or what they can do better. And myself included, if I'm watching a breakdown of a film and I'm doing something wrong, well, I don't skip over that. I say, hey, I should have done this in this situation. And now I just got to teach myself just not to try to do that again. But nobody's perfect. But with Trayvon and Bruce, those guys, they learned the system, and they just got better week in and week out. And you can't do nothing but respect guys like that.
Hey Fletcher, if you look at last year, between Jernigan's injury, Nada was in and out of the lineup, how important is it for your production to kind of have that stable player next to you like Malik could be, and even that rotation there like you've had in the past?
The biggest thing I think, this is football and guys get nicked up, and, sometimes you don't have control of that. I think that, Haloti went down. Timmy did everything he could do to get back. His injury had to take his time, and, he made that push to get back towards the end of the season to help us make a push and get into the postseason. Haloti was, he got hurt, and, at that point, I know I had to kind of elevate my game a little more because, obviously, with guys down like that and you go in the game, you got to elevate your game a little more and then push the guys that's next to you to be better. But, man, bringing Malik in, like you said, man, it should be really good for us. It's nothing that can happen overnight where, I can just sit here and talk about it. It's a process, and we just both got to believe in each other and to get it done.
You took on more of a leadership role last year. I guess it's been a kind of a process, an evolution process for you. And you've always been kind of a more lead by example than by words. But is that something that you're more comfortable now doing, standing up in front of the guys and talking, or do you still prefer to kind of?
I've always been able to stand up in front of the guys, but, and anybody know I'm not a big rah-rah guy, but I think, at some point in my career that I had to go ahead and step up and start being more vocal and start letting guys hear my voice, because it's crazy. It's sometimes, all the time, if I'm speaking about something, and as a player and to another player, I've got his full attention, and, and at the end of the day, he's appreciating that no matter what I say or what I did to try to show him just the leadership and the things that I was, trying to get across.
Do you feel comfortable calling guys out if maybe they're not doing their jobs?
I'll go talk to a guy. I don't want to just yell at anybody. I just go say, hey, man, we need you here or we need you there. And I think a guy respects that more than me calling him out in front of 40 people.
Fletch, when you look at, guys at defensive tackle coming, out of the draft this year and everything, like it seems like a lot of teams are looking at guys like that and get after the quarterback. Do you think, guys like you, Aaron Donald, and some of the other guys kind of help change the perception of how a defensive tackle is used?
Absolutely. I think now that, we're in this new era of defensive tackles, and the defense is really, especially the way we play defense and the way Aaron played defense, that's to all the dominant D tackles in the league. The list can go on, but I think, getting after the quarterback is pretty real right now in the NFL, because a lot of teams, pass the ball a lot, and you need one or two guys inside to get after the quarterback.
Along those lines, you were obviously a high first-round pick. Do you find, looking at the position now, that most really difference-making defensive tackles are high picks?
Right. Yeah, you can say that. I can say that. But, Chris Jones, he's I think it was a second-round pick. He had 14, 15 sacks last year. So, I just can't say that the most dominant D tackles are, picked in the top 20 of the draft. So, it's all about guys and their work ethic and, how good they want to be.
You mentioned the changes, Fletch. Since you came into the league as a rookie, how drastically has it changed, the role of just defenses in general?
It's changed a lot. Obviously the league is protecting the quarterback more, and, you got to be smart about it. But, getting after the quarterback doesn't change. Me slowing down doesn't change. The way I rush the quarterback doesn't change. I think it's all the little things that happen to want to get back there.
Thanks, Fletch. Cool.
Thanks,
Very
Fletch.
much.
Yeah.